Oh, hello there. Welcome to the Dividend Dive. I'm your host, Russ. Happy to have you here. I hope you're having a good weekend. We've got a lot in store for you, boils and ghouls. It is almost Halloween time. By the way, I'm finishing up this book by Professor Stephen Forster, which I will be interviewing on the channel. Very happy to be doing that. Very pleased and pleased as a pickled punch to be interviewing Professor Forster. How are you doing? It's so happy to have you here. You're in the right place. What happened to the dividend communion? Well, I just plain got tired of thinking that it didn't work. And with it being Sunday, I wanted to force the religion, maybe not religion, because you can just have communion with people. I'm having communion with you. And it doesn't have to be theophagy, right? The eating of a god for communion. We can just commune together and say hello. Hi, how are you going? Pat, what did you learn? Please tell us. I got an interesting thing to show you. I just temporarily had my fingers tangled in this microphone. Was that oh, Frank, it hasn't been 2 weeks. I was on Friday. It was Friday night, remember? I was at Riot Fest, and it was a riot, so to speak. It was a riot. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I got some sunburn on my mouth, something like that, because I was in the sun all day on Saturday. And sorry, I'm trying to get my own video here playing to make sure that I'm indeed broadcasting to the world. Please bear with me. Uno momento, por favor. There we are. Okay. I just turned my phone on and I'm like, hey, look at this guy's looking at a phone speaking Spanish. What kind of a channel is this? It's our channel. It's our unique brand of humor that we do around here. I really do enjoy that you guys showed up. And girls, I said boils and ghouls. I'm inclusive. I love Tales from the Crypt. That's what I swiped boils and ghouls from. So again, yeah, Riot Fest, fun. Got to see my band NoFX. It was the tale of 2 days, like weather tends to do. Super hot and sunny on Saturday, cold and rainy on Sunday. Go figure. So, good spread in the house. I see we got Shamir, Andrew B, Ray, Lisa J, the queen of the stream, the queen of the live stream. I would say that she is. I'm going to show you guys something that when I started this journey investing, I used to invest in Verizon and AT&T, and I worked Friday at another company. Took a little bit of recording that I'm going to show you exactly what they have that a Visa or MasterCard or, well, Microsoft, it's shifting into AI. It's building data centers and things like that. So maybe not as capital light as a Visa, but still very capital light. But first, I'm also going to say hello. Well, I guess I don't have to tell you I'm going to say. I could just say it, right? To Greg, to John. I thank you guys again for swinging on by. What do you think of the dividend dive? Do you like it better than dividend communion? I think it flows a little better. I think they call that alliteration, right? That's what happens when you're Cook County educated. So I'm going to show you guys here. Got a good little spread, almost 30 people in the house. And Alan, who had said greetings, Earthlings, which we are here, came across INN today. We can check it out. We'll put it on the list. And if I forget, do remind me. All right, here we go. Yeah, I don't understand either. Maybe he just, who knows? Maybe one of his cars had it installed and he just likes it. And maybe he's slumming it with the penny stocks, right? Because it's right it is a penny stock. I know, because I did the stupid video and hey, that's what you do to get people in the door, right? You have to hang a bright flashing sign saying, cheap stocks, buy now. You got to buy these now. And then once you're in, you're like, you should put these on your radar. I'm not a financial advice. I'm not financially able to give you the advice of this. So just please, this is for fun and entertainment. Yeah, John, I used you in the newsletter. I blocked out your email address. Don't worry. You won't be getting tens of people emailing you spam. But yeah, in the newsletter we shared today, which I probably should pull up, as well as the good old Simply Safe dividends. But yeah, we talked about VMFXX, which is somewhat similar to SWVXX. They're both money market funds. And when you see the double X's on each at the end, that's money market funds, helps distinguish between the two. But I didn't know I couldn't buy VMFXX inside of Schwab because it's a banking product from Vanguard. So SWVXX is a banking product that is from Schwab. So you can only buy it there because it's in house. Um, that's why that, and I explained it a little bit in this newsletter. I'm queuing up here, getting ready, but I'm going to show you guys exactly what, and I'll try and talk through it. It should work. I have to make sure my microphone's on. Yeah, Buffett's down on. He's also been selling. I get email alerts from the CNBC Buffett tracker. I would recommend you guys do too. Sign up for that, and it keeps every time. It's like Buffett. They sold 10% more Bank of America, so they've been buying Bank of America, right? Yeah, Amdocs. Funny enough, I don't know if you guys listen to the Dividend Talk podcast, but somebody had a question about Amdocs, which is very interesting. So hey, maybe if there's smoke, maybe there's smoke, there's fires. Oh, dude, I totally should have went the Dos Equis route, but I saw the XX, and hey, that's we'll also put it triple X on, right? What is the etymology of that triple X? Because you see it there on, like, I always laugh, live nude girls as opposed to live dead girls. Living dead girl. That's Rob Zombie. I saw him last Sunday, a week ago tonight. I was in The Mist. Good horror movie, The Mist. They remade it too. But triple X, they put it right on the booze bottles, and then on the gentlemen's clubs. Yeah, I'd like to know Shamir's thoughts too, because you guys know that I sold Toronto Dominion, and it's only gone up from there. But honestly, I didn't feel comfortable. I don't fully understand it, and I exited with a very, very small gain. I think almost a 1.5% gain with dividends received. But without dividends, I would have been down a little bit. But yeah, that's okay. That's how we learn. That's how we move on. And what I'm going to show you about learning and moving on. Here we go. 30 people in. Let's do it. So Friday, I worked here. I'm hoping you guys can still hear me. Yeah. I worked at FedEx. So right now what you're looking at is a whole bunch of capital expenses on the screen. You've got a generator right there. There are just lots of trailers. They take drivers and fuel. And this is just me at 6:00 in the morning showing you one of the facilities, an LTL, less than full load, or like that, less than low, whatever they call it. But yeah, all those dock equipment, the facilities, more trucks, all those tractors. Don't get dizzy. I guess I was going a little quick with the phone hanging out the window, but all those tractor trailers, maintenance on them. They've got systems for scanning everything in. They're going to see the spotter, they call it. He's got to get paid. All these forklifts. There's always Crown Lift Truck, I think, is doing the maintenance on them. And then look at that. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, 100 forklifts just all parked and moving around the place. And I was going to do a video of it, right? So there's yours truly, but I was like, I was still waking up. But anyway, we have a crew that comes in. They do the concrete and the steel. I don't want to pour concrete, but this is what I do then. I move my crane, I'm installed. This is one of many things that I do, multifaceted, but watch out there. You buddy using that crane. There he is, old school. I don't pay up for the auto darkening hood. Why would you? That helmet I'm using. Look at the jacket. Look at the ripped jacket I wear. Where do you think the money comes to invest from, But the video's almost over. It's 2 minutes long. But yeah, that's there it is. There's the finished product. A new edge of dock that has some concrete splatter on it because it was sitting there when they did the concrete work. And that's that. So we can remove that. So You just saw a whole bunch of capital intensitivity that a Visa doesn't have. FedEx's return on invested capital is 10%. So 10 cents of every dollar they make 10 cents for every dollar they invest in the business. Visa's at 34%. So it's way higher, it's way less capital intensive, but FedEx, it's still pretty high for such a capital intensive business, right? You have that's just one of many facilities in the Chicagoland and northern Indiana, southern Wisconsin area that I canvass. And it was, oh, you guys love that work video. I was thinking, like, I think people are going to like check out and be like, this is boring. But I thought it was funny. Do you guys know about the FedEx arrow? This just popped in my head. If you don't know, I'll dig up the FedEx logo real quick and show you it. But um, yeah, I used to invest in these really capital intensive businesses, so that's something to think about. You got the facilities, the drivers, the maintenance on the vehicles that wear out and have to be replaced. Every one of those dock positions has what I installed. It's called an edge of dock, an EOD. It hangs off the edge of the dock. They pull the plate back, flap it forward, and then they drive the forklift over it. 300 docks at this facility. When those break, they go through over the concrete. It's so much normal wear and tear that, I cut it off. We have a concrete crew. We subcontract, come back in behind me. They bust out the old angle, pour new concrete, new angle. Once that cures after 5 days, then I come and do what I did, weld the new one in. All that is coming from somewhere. Those are costs that, I mean, good for me. I mean, I got paid to do it, but those are costs that Visa or MasterCard or mostly Microsoft doesn't even have. So just, dude, I laugh at that. I like you, man. I like you, WTF. So yeah, I don't know if it's predator monopoly. I've read some of what the lawsuit is, and how can you say it? From what I understand, it looks like they worked out agreements with potential competitors to not be competitive. Like they're paying them to maintain their 70%. I don't know. I almost said monopoly, right? Obviously, it's a monopoly is one mono, 100%. But yeah, they're trying to maintain that dominant position, that dominant market share of the debit card area. And hey, 70%, that's crazy. And I think MasterCard was the next closest, but hey, that's sorry, I'm gonna crack myself a refreshing Waterloo. I don't know. See, it'll focus on me and him. There you go. Anyway, Waterloo, good stuff. It's my favorite fizzy water. I don't think it's professional to have a beer. I'll have a beer when I get off here, but oh, look at this. Cody stopping by the channel, man. I just remembered we did a collab before, and I met Cody at the NASCAR race. We hung out a little bit. He was walking around, bopping around with my friend, my brother-in-law, and my wife. So yeah, do you guys? I'll just pull it up for some of you that might not know about the FedEx logo. It's the hidden logo. I love stuff like this. There is, let's see, FedEx logo. Now let me get it up nice and big. Here's one. I don't know what this is. All right. That's a little blurry, but it's a little blurry, but you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. America runs on Dunkin'. FedEx delivers the world on time. Yeah. And again, they manage the business very well for how capital intensive it is. But I don't think that they have the union issues that UPS does. But and they're not as big. Actually, while we're on it, I'm going to pull up something on Simply Safe here. But yeah, let me share this first, and you should be able to see this. For those of you that don't know, I should have got a better one. Oh well. In between the E and the X, do you see the white arrow? It's now once you'd see it, you can't unsee it. It's crazy that they designed it like that, but yeah, right there. There is an arrow in between the E and the X, so that's fun. And I think Wendy's. I'm gonna blow you guys. I hope so. I know this isn't exactly. Well, it can't be dividend investing stuff. Uh, Wendy's is a dividend stock, right? Let's see if I can find it. So in hidden in the Wendy's logo is something that they say they were not aware of. So let me find the image of it here. Da, da. Oh, this might work. All right, let me blow that up and bring you guys with me to show you a little bit of this is what we do in the dividend dive, right? What do you guys think? Somebody tell me what you think of the dividend dive. Little catchier than dividend communion. People might think it's religious or something. Oh no, I want to share this one. Here we go. Get rid of this ad. So everybody, check this out. Where you see this eyeglass, they say it was unintentional, but the collar on Wendy, I guess that's Wendy, right? It says mom. You got the M, the O, and the M. So it spells out mom. How nice is that? And now you know, and you got some bar trivia, and you got some things to show people when you're drinking or something. But let's do news. Let's do news since I've just popped onto I've just stumbled onto Simply Safe, and I'll check back with you guys. So here we go. Strap in, buckle up. OG&E Electric Utility. Let us know if you invest in OG&E. Oh, and by the way, let us know if you've hit any interesting goals. I want to give that a shout out. Can help me stay motivated as well as others. Also, what have you been buying? What was some of your interesting big buys? But OG&E, which is the Oklahoman Electric Utility, raised their dividend 0.7%. That's a token raise. Very small. Very, very small. Organon, which I had received shares in from Merck. They were spun off from Merck in 2021, but they get a dividend downgrade to 30 unsafe. They think it looks speculative. I stopped following them completely. I just didn't. It was supposed to be focused on women's health, and I didn't like some of what I was seeing, which looked like to have been a good idea. They refreshed their outlook on Clorox, which has a 3% dividend yield. Not bad. Oh, we could talk about the new valuation tool. What do you guys think about that? That's on here too. Looks like Clorox is reasonably valued. We'll talk about that if you didn't see the video. There it is. Big old McDonald's. 48th consecutive year of payout increase, 6% dividend raise. We're loving it. I know Ian Lopick was loving it. 2.33% yield, and down here with the valuation for McDonald's, this is the 5-year average price to earnings ratio, expected price. So the way that Simply Safe calculates this, they take the right down here. So we see the 5-year average yield is 2.29%. They go 10% above, 10% below, and you get this shaded area right here. Just right there. So that's what the gray shaded area is. That is either the PE ratio or the dividend yield, and we can toggle between the two. And it will give you the expected price range, right? Especially for price to earnings, what it's historically been, the trailing 5 years. So we can look back and see it stays pretty close in that channel, but when it goes above, it eventually came down. And this is the only time it really went below. Yeah. And it came back up into it. So it's right in the zone to reasonably valued. But they expect it anywhere from $278 to $339 a share, currently at $303. So, like Buffett would say, sometimes it's best to pay up for quality. But that's their preferred valuation. But if we flip on over to the dividend yield, same thing. It's almost identical. 278 to 340, and it's at the higher end of reasonably valued. So that's the tool from Simply Safe. That's pretty new. It's some of you may not like it, but as I said, I'm rereading everything I learned about investing from Darwin by Pulak Prasad. And I know it sounds like Polak from where I'm from. I'm Polish, so people call me a Polak. But yeah, he doesn't like DCF because you're just making so many guesses and you just fiddle with the dials a little bit, and all of a sudden you're just getting a wildly different number. So he likes looking at recently backward. You get to see what was banked, what happened. It's a better way to see how management has performed. And again, we just don't know what's going to happen in the future, but either making a wild speculation about something 5, 10 years into the future, or making a guess based on what recently happened. But anyway, let's get through these because I want to talk to you guys. Accenture raised the dividend 15%. So there's Accenture. I've never looked into them, but they got some pretty strong dividend growth. And they have a AA minus rated balance sheet. Fortis raised their dividend 4.2%. That's their 51st consecutive year of annual dividend growth. So way to go to another electric utility. Honeywell, I think Ian still invests in Honeywell, right? Raised the dividend 4.6%, which is their 14th consecutive year of dividend. You would think it's more because they've been, well, I guess uninterrupted dividends for 3 decades. I think they go back to the 40s. They're an old company. They're at the lower end of the reasonably valued. And 2 more here for you. BASF, the dividend talk fellas talked about this, downgraded because they cut the dividend and they want to reinvest in the business. They have some headwinds from China, the Russia-Ukraine thing. BASF, why? Cut that dividend. And then last, up Estee Lauder, they get 20% of their revenue from China. This is why we don't drink carbonated things on the show, you know? But yeah, what do you guys think of that? The China Central Bank with their stimulus, just, is it going to last? I don't know. We'll see. But they downgraded it to 40 unsafe. And that was that. So, and then VTI declared the next variable dividend. And my income increased 73 cents as a result. Yee. Oh, and this one too, right? Everybody talked about this. I almost did a video, and that was my guy Ryan Williams did one. I was like, nah, man, you did it. You got it. You covered it. You got the 4-minute video out. But yeah, Schwab announced a, what are we looking at? 0.7545 per share dividend, which is a raise. Wait, the fund's average payout of over the last 12 months up 3.5%. And I can't talk now. My income increased $16.50. So shout out to all of us who are SCHD guys. And I got a lot to kick. I love it, dude. I love it. Let's see what you guys are saying. I don't remember the end of the mist. Funny you should say that, Ray. I'm going to have to watch that again. I remember them being in the supermarket. Yeah, I can't remember the end. Oh, you know what I watched with my kids? We watched The Thing, the John Carpenter film from 1982, maybe 2 or 3. That's fun. Good. Billy's been buying Chevron and UPS. Very cool. Yeah, Chevron. I've looked at them. I still got a lot of money in the self-directed IRA, and I'm starting to look at it as it's sitting in SWVXX, and I'm waiting. It's collecting, yeah, a little yield, but I'm waiting for this crash and pullback. But Chevron let's look at Chevron. Let's see what Simply Safe says, how undervalued they might be. Billy, since you're so kind to share with us, Billy. CV, no, not CV, CVX. They're going to say it is reasonably valued. All right. So it's expected to be between 140 and 171 based on the 5-year average dividend yield. So they're using the dividend yield for Chevron, I think, because it's such a strong dividend payer. It's so consistent. So I think that's why they're using that. But it is at the low end of the expected price range. There you go. Chevron, everybody. Billy. CNBC have a Pelosi investment alert. No, but if you guys have been around the channel for a long time, I did one Pelosi video on, I think I used Capital Trades. There's 2 at least that I remember using, maybe a third one, I'm sure now. And all they do is they track Congress, like Capitol Hill. CapitalTrades.com? I don't remember. There was another one, and that's what it does. It tracks every time a politician has to publicly file the trades that they made, then they report on it. Yeah, we were talking about Buffett. Oh my God, there's so many comments. I love it. I'm gonna go a little quick here, but yeah, Warren could close on him. We'll see. We'll see. But also, is it him selling or one of the lieutenants, one of his capos? Every time I sell, do the opposite. Well, then Prudential's gonna go up, right? I sold Prudential. So, all right, here we go. Let's get caught up and see who has something interesting to say. Questions if you want. I love this Shamir because he was asked what he thinks. He's up there in Canada, what he thinks about some of the Canadian banks. He doesn't buy or sell based on what other people do. Yeah, use it as information, a tool in your toolbox, but don't let it do all the work for you. Yeah, price of gas can affect the Old Dominion freight line, which is one that's on my radar and watch list, and FedEx or other last mile delivery, other less than full load. That's LTL. Visa, I guess, recession, less spending. It could, but also, are people going to be buying a lot more with their credit, using it as a life preserver to get by? So that's another thing to think of too. And again, Visa's not affected by, they just process the payment. They're not affected by if if I make the payment on my credit card balance, if Capital One or uh, Bank of America, JP Morgan, whatever, Chase, that's the one that is going to be affected by it. You have one beer for me. Oh, don't worry, man. What time is it here? I'll be having one in about 45 minutes. So, Arc, what Sixth Street Capital? Um, Aries Capital. I don't know about. I haven't looked into Sixth Street Capital. That might be an interesting one. Good. I'm glad you like Dividend Dive better. Dividend Fight Club could be fun. That could be fun. I was trying to do something a little more. I don't know if I want to say inclusive, but can we check the CW? Dude, you got NXT coming to the CW, WWE next. What is CW? Yeah, we'll look at that. Give me a second here. Oh, congratulations. Guy reached 180 shares of Visa and 100 shares of Broadcom. So you're still buying. I remember that when you were buying. Guy, I wish I would have listened to you. You were, when I was finishing, or I had just wrapped up doing my one share of PepsiCo, and you were buying a share of Visa. And I remember thinking, this is like in the 230s, 240s when you were doing it, maybe even cheaper. I was like, I'm gonna wait a bit. I think it should come down, but I can't think of. Can anybody else think of any spinoffs that have done well recently? I mean, maybe Kenvue, but I haven't really checked in on Kenvue. I know that Kellanova, well, it got acquired, it got bought, right, by Mars. Not official yet. Was Kellanova. Yeah, Kellanova, right? Kellogg's spun out Kellanova, and then that got acquired by Mars, I think. Speaking of Mars, did you guys hear that they're doing the peanut butter and jelly M&Ms? The hell is that? Peanut butter and jam and ugh. No, thank you. I don't think I'll be trying that. And Shamir, unfortunately, Coke is discontinuing the spiced cola. I never had it. I haven't forgot about CW. Don't worry, guy. Have you ever done underwater welding? No. I've done some where my feet would have been in underwater and I had to stand on pallets and stuff, which is dangerous, but oh, you bought Brookfield Properties and more cruise lines. Yeah, Jeremy, who you guys know I talked to from dividendstockpile.com, and he joked because I told him how I had bought another share of Nexstar. Man, it gets me. It's an industry that's changing, and of course, Pulak Prasad, he said one of the things he doesn't do is if the industry is rapidly changing, he stays away. He doesn't even try and forecast it because even something at the top of an industry that's rapidly changing, there's just too much uncertainty, and he would rather miss out on winners and just not even worry about it. But Jeremy said that I made the joke that I'm in a cult, I think, with Nextstar. I may be in a cult. And he said he may be in a cult with Brookfield. So that's kind of funny. It's funny you say that about the McDonald's meal deal because we saw some of the sit down places were pushing back against that, saying, I think when I don't know, it was like a Big Mac and fries and a drink were like 9.99, we'll say. So I don't think it was Olive Garden. Maybe you guys remember. Was it one of the Darden restaurants? Um, I can't think of who they were, but kind of like a fast casual place, like a TGI Fridays, I think, and an Applebee's. Those were two. That's it. It was Applebee's. Applebee's was saying the same thing. Like, why are you gonna go through a drive-through and eat it in your car? Come on in for the same price and get yourself a real hamburger with real meat for the same price. But that's funny you say that. Shannon, you sold Visa. Why did you sell Visa? My God. We can talk about why I sold Prudential too if you want to. But you bought Chevron, another Chevron buy, and Procter and Gamble. Never can go wrong with that. Shamir, you're a big fan of McDonald's, I know, right? Looking to the increased payment in December. Yeah, I only have my 10 shares, and I know we've talked about that. Eventually, we'll be buying a car because we need it. Ours is a piece of junk, and talk about running it into the ground. That's what we've been doing. But we yeah, we're gonna have to pay for stuff instead of building a proper emergency fund slash car fund. I just kept pouring that money into the taxable account, and now we're at a point where I'm like, okay, we're gonna need to pay some bills around here, and now I don't want to take anything out. But I finally did it. I just bit the bullet with Prudential to get the ball rolling. So we all right. John, so we wanted CW for Guy, and then John wants TLX versus Blue Owl. I can do the very quick without going deep dive into that. Oh, Jim, what's up, man? He's got 41 shares. So I got 10 shares of McDonald's. I may eventually sell those to, and it'll be a good way for me to do a little, it could be a mistake, but I don't want to say house cleaning, but maybe consolidating into some things. But I'm going to pay it back. Don't worry. I have a spreadsheet that I've created, and we are going to pay ourselves back. We're going to put ourselves on starting off a bi-monthly payment plan and make payments to ourselves. And that's the beautiful part. We're being the bank for ourselves. But if we miss a payment, whatever. But that's what we decided to do. And I guess it'll all depend on what the interest we're going to finance the car, and then we'll pay it off in a month or 2 or 3, whatever. But we'll figure more things out. Okay, so we got TLX, Blue Owl. I don't think I need to write it down. I'm smart, right? I can remember. Let me look at those for you guys, and then let's see. So Guy want to see CW. I don't remember what CW is. Let's see if I can get through these quick and not do a Kevin Burgess. Curtis Wright, Aerospace and Defense. I have never heard of them. I love it because they're unrated, and unrated could mean a very good opportunity because analysts are not either being paid to look at it, to follow it. There could be better opportunities in some of the small and micro caps if you really do your homework. And obviously this is a large cap, but then they don't have the valuation for it, which is kind of funny. It's too small, I guess. But they do. I'm not going to read all this. Naval and power segment. Cool. I like it. Incorporated in 1929. They offer ship repair and maintenance for the U.S. Navy. Nice dividend growth. Okay. Yes. Curtis Wright. This one, we'll see what shakes out. It's stupidly low free cash flow payout ratio. I'm just going to see if any of these patterns grab my eye. A little bit cyclical here with the free cash flow per share, but overall it's been up, same as the earnings per share. Yeah, 38.5 million shares outstanding. That's almost what Nextstar's at. Total sales was slow, but now it's taken off. Yeah, 15% return on invested capital. Yeah, Guy looks pretty damn solid. So this is one that would absolutely, and I'll do that right now. like 325.65. We'll put it in the quality prospect pipeline portfolio. And that's just so I can go through and keep a watch on it. And then John wanted, was it TX? Oh, I forgot it already. John wanted TLX and Blue Owl. All right, so TLX and Blue Owl. I put TXL. Almost got it. Are you sure it's TLX, John? I'm not seeing anything come up. Yeah, I don't think you want some of those. Double check that. But I don't know about Blue Owl. I think Blue Owl Capital. Doesn't Ryan Williams own Blue Owl Capital? It's at the high end of reasonably valued. Blue Owl is a Powell. What was that from? Oh God. A bat and an owl. Was that a Tim and Eric sketch? It was the Bowel. The just the Bowel Capital. Looks reasonably valued, they say. But so this is a asset. Yeah, I think Ryan. Why don't you guys ask Ryan what he thinks? Oh, now we're too zoomed in. You zoomed in too far, man. It's too big. So 2 years uninterrupted dividends. Yeah, 29% last raise. I'm guessing I didn't see that. Are they basically a wait? The company offers permanent capital-based solutions that enables it to offer holistic framework of capital solutions to middle market companies. Right there, I'm confused. What the hell is holistic framework of? Listen to that. I hope you understand it because right now, maybe I'm just, maybe I'm soft, but in the head, but holistic framework of capital solutions to middle market companies, large alternative asset managers, and corporate real estate owners and tenants. They do direct lending products. That's fun. What is a holistic framework of capital solutions? That sounds like gobbledygook to me. I don't like that. That turned me off. I understand Ares Capital a little better, but they say that they are at the high end of their reasonably valued range. And if you go same thing with dividend yield. John, I don't know about this one. You might want to pop on to Mr. Ryan Williams, but earnings payout ratio we look at instead, not too high. There's manageable. Yeah, sales is up still. They've probably been doing a little bit share issuing, right? Where is the shares? Shares outstanding. Oh, they had a whole, I don't know what happened there. This is too much. I don't know enough about, I'm not going to get caught up on this. I would need to understand a lot more about what Bowel does. Does anybody have a better explanation of Bowel for me? Fortis, one of only 2 Canadian companies, I believe, that have increased dividends for at least 50 years. So kind of like a Canadian dividend king. The King of Canada. Sounds like a sitcom I wouldn't watch. Do you guys watch that sitcom, Shoresy? Or my brother-in-law keeps wanting me to watch it. I tried. Trailer Park Boys, is it? I don't know. I tried and it just was boring. It was one of those where he's like, "Oh man, I laughed so hard, I'm crying." So I was like, "Oh, cool." I try it, and there was like one point I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's funny," and that's it. I'm like, "This is FXI." I think you remember, Ray. I think you remember you mentioning that, and this could be why we've seen a lot of Chinese stocks just blow up because all of a sudden everyone thinks, "Okay, China's fixed. They're doing their stimulus." Bada bing, all the Chinese ETFs are blowing up. So frog coffee, I don't get it. I feel it's like a riddle. It's an emoji riddle. What does it mean? What's frog coffee? What am I missing there? Oh, you got 2 shares of SCHD. West, that's better than not having 2 shares of SCHD. That's a start. Or unless that's your goal, I don't know. But hey, 2 shares of SCHD is superior to 0 shares of SCHD. Unless you're drowning in debt, up to your eyeballs in debt, then you should probably sell all that and pay off the credit card debt. But Oh, I have not. We have not spoken. I don't recognize your name. Go hard, brother. But as it is going to start to drop, and has it dropped already? So at least SWVXX, from what I understand, they also invest in um, corporate corporate bonds, right? So, but yeah, that's going to happen with the rate cuts. It'll eventually happen. One day peace is going to break out in the Ukraine. I hope so, man. I'd rather see energy tumble than fighting and bloodshed and war, but I feel it's like it's just the way of the world. It's human nature, right? What do they say? And it's what I take from was that not Oppenheimer. I think it was Einstein who said, he doesn't know or he knows what World War Three's. Oh God, here we go. Here we go. This is why you love the channel. That whatever it was. He knows World War Four is going to be fought with sticks and stones, right? But the point is, they're always going to be fighting that, or people are always going to be fighting. It sucks, but half of Josh's portfolio. I just heard my Josh. Half of Josh's. Did I say it? Josh. Ha- Half of Josh's portfolio is it. People are like, is this guy drunk? No, he's just not trying to talk with a Chicago accent. Oh, okay. Half of his portfolio is all in one of the top, top holdings of SCHD. Wait, is all in one? Oh, so one of SCHD. You don't want to tell us. That's fine, but that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, Vilmer. Vilmer de Paranara. He's apparently from Transylvania or the Count on Sesame Street. Check out ITW. I know it's solid. We can look at it. I was on a live stream once where recently Ryan looked at it. Maybe you asked him to look at it. I'll look at it too. Oh, that's so funny. There's $ NANC that tracks Democrats and Cruise that tracks Republican trades. So it's an ETF then, right? It's a ETF. That's funny. Holy cow, look at this, everybody. I remember when I won't say your name, when Dividendology was at, dude, you were at like, when I first started noticing you, I think you were at like 17,000. And now you're just, dude, you may be the biggest in terms of subscribers dividend focused channel. So congratulations. Yeah, that is just cool, man. Thank you for swinging on by. If you're still here, I know you're a busy guy, man. Very impressive, by the way. Very impressive. Guy, I'm assuming that's you bought Zoetis. Oh, you're talking about the spinoffs. Yeah. AbbVie. AbbVie has the distinction of now being worth more than the spinner. And we just make up terms here. We're loosey goosey, right? I guess you have the spinner and the spinneret. Or no, is the spinneret the parent? That's you get the spinner, the spinneret, and then the spinny is the kid, right? I don't know. We just make up stuff. Just roll with it. But the spinneret, I think spinneret, you can fact check me on this. I think that was a solo project by Brody Dahl, who used to be in the Distillers, the girl from Australia who was married once upon a time to Tim Armstrong. Yes, all of a sudden, just like that, off the rails, and it turns into a punk rock live stream show. But Zoetis, yeah, they are a spinoff. Kenvue and AbbVie, good ones. Yeah, so Zoetis was from Pfizer. Yeah, and Abbott. So AbbVie is worth more than Abbott Labs right now. So that's kind of cool. It did very well if you held on to those two. Steve, I forgot. Thank you. Let's do it right now. I'm not going to go. I shall sing Gandalf. You shall not pass. All right, we're just going to do INN for you. I'm so sorry, buddy. You know how I get on these things. Summit Hotel Properties. Well, that sounds like a business I can understand. So we got fast dividend growth, but it looks like it was cut. So they are small cap. Boy, is that the shortest description of a business I've ever seen? It's a REIT that it focuses on owning branded lodging properties with efficient operating models and upscale segment of the lodging industry. And they don't tell us which one, so that would be interesting to know. But they were downgraded from 30 unsafe in March of 2020, and then they're currently unrated. But yeah, naturally, this doesn't worry me too much because I mean, that was something we never experienced before. But they cut the dividend to zero and then they just started growing it again. But yeah, and there's the cut. It was at 18 cents a share a quarter and then down to 4, 6, now 8. So they got a few raises under their belt, but still far below where they were at their earnings payout ratio. Uh, yeah, that's all. That's because it's a REIT. But no, because it's a REIT. Yeah, why are their earnings so negative? That's not good, man. It's not good to have your earnings payout ratio at negative 77,000%. That gets that gets the Mr. Yuck sticker. I should make a little video for that. That'll be a new thing. That'll be coming next week. Just you wait. But um yeah, they did some diluting, but they're still not. I don't know are they. If they're increasing debt, I would be out, man. Total sales, okay, they've come back, but eh, that increased a little. I don't know. Uh, I don't know. I think maybe what Starwood might be better, or I think you can find better. APLE, right? APLE. What do you guys think for hotel REITs? And then Illinois Tool Works gets an 81 very. Yeah, this is just going to be big blue chip. You can set it and forget it on this one. This is one that's I already know. It's been a long time since I've looked, but they look to be reasonably valued. Dividend growth, steady Eddie, dividend king. Yeah, dividend king, steady Eddie, 7.1 average dividend raise. Solid. There's going to be nothing wrong with this. They're in the middle of the reasonably valued range, actually toward the high end of it. So, hey, pay up for a fair quality business. Why not? The dividend yield, maybe you want to wait for it to come above the 5-year average. But yeah, it's free cash flow payout ratio has been growing. There's going to be not much wrong with this. I wonder what their return on invested capital is. Sales have been falling down, stair stepping down though. 301 million shares outstanding. They buy back shares. I like the swoop down. Total sales. Yeah, that's crazy. 101% return on equity, 35% return on invested capital. Those are Visa type numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Free cash flow market, yeah, just solid bit, very solid business. Maybe their net debt's a little bit high, but they can easily cover the interest on the debt. Yeah, you get a thumbs up. It's going to be very rare to get this one at the lower end of its expected range there, but yeah, ITW, Dividend King, steady as a steady does, you know. Love IHOP and Schwab does not rank them. Does Simply Save rank them? DIN. I'll just tell you if they do. But yeah, just because something's not ranked, it's all about the numbers in the business. Dine Brands, they're unranked, unrated, I should say. 6.45% dividend yield, but $484 million market cap. Yeah, you're right. They own IHOP. Who was talking about the one that Fuzzy's Taco Shop? Sorry, Fuzzy's Taco Shop. That sounds like a t-shirt I should wear. Yeah, they're unrated, but would you have thought about working as an aviation mechanic? I heard they do well. No, I've never thought about it. I kind of got in this line of work. I know it well. I got the system down. A lot of time to listen to podcasts. That's the good thing. But yeah, back to you with that, man. I may start this up again. Let me see if I can bring it up. You guys might be interested in this. Let me pull it up first. I started doing what Warren recommended, going through and I started doing it. Here, I'll bring this one up. He said if he had to do it over again at one of the annual meetings, he would start at A and go to Z and just look through every single business to see what caught his attention. And I started doing that, and then just life gets in the way, and videos and books I'm reading, and uh, it's tough, right? But that's not an excuse. So let me bring this up. So I called it investment ideas, and look at that, December 13th, 2023. My God, how time flies! It's been almost a year since I started doing this. The last one was January of 24. But I started with the A's, right? I started with the A's, and I just would go through every. I don't remember why these are green. I don't know, but um, yeah, maybe I'll share this someday. So those were the A's. Those were ones that I wanted to look into more, and I just started putting some stats up, right? Just things that might be relevant. But yeah, I got a good what 16 of them, and left off where I was looking on Finviz. But yeah, Amatec. One of them that was interesting, and I used it yesterday. Oh, look, I got Agree Realty on there, which I invested in now. Yeah, Aflac, stuff like that. I probably don't need to put on the bigger ones, but I had Alamo Group. One of them was what was the Allegiant? No, no, no. Allison Transmission looked really interesting. That was one I found pretty interesting. Like I even have an easy to understand tab. And as soon as I put an N, like Accenture. Oh, we just talked about Accenture. Excel Entertainment. So Excel Entertainment does the here. I don't know if this will come up, but they do the video games. Actually, their headquarters is right by my. I don't know. This is getting too. It's not. I thought they had a good, better thing, but they do like the gaming, the slot machines, right? The video poker and slot machines that you see in bars and truck stops and stuff. Anyway, so um, how did we get on that? I don't even know how I got on that tangent, but I started doing that. I think it was in regards to this, Steve, is that Warren would say he would start with the A's and go to the Z's. That's just how he does it, looking for opportunities. And I think he had said the smaller, the better, and less people paying attention to it, and the less analysts that covered it, the better the opportunity. Because if you understand the business and you look at the numbers and the metrics and the margins, and they're good and growing, and the management looks solid, might be a good idea. Not Yeah, it's getting harder, L. It's getting harder to see those. And let me oh no. Where's Matt Money? He's the Lambo guy. My God, I'm so far behind all you. Not that bad. All right. TSLX. Is that the Tesla short? TSLX. Let me just. Oh, 6th Street Specialty Lending. I think it a borderline safe 52, almost a 9% yield. They're reasonably valued. So, yeah, it's another BDC. I don't know. I've got my two BDCs. I've got my Aries Capital and Main Street Capital. Holistic means nothing. Exactly. Then why put it in there? It's just, yeah, we're looking at Blue Owl. Blue Owl Capital, right? I think that was the one. Morgan Stanley and Tip Ranks like CW. I was like, what's Tipranis? Strong buy. That's an interesting one, man. And hey, just like that, it's on the watch list. So I thank you for sharing that. Sold Visa because it's overvalued and you're 5 years from retirement. Okay, fair enough. Thought the dividend, even though the dividend is a high growth rate, feels that Procter and Gamble and Chevron better suited. Yeah, some people might feel that Visa's overvalued. I didn't even look them up yet on this handy dandy new tool. Ah, this is interesting. Shannon, you might find this one because I can find my tab here about Visa being overvalued. Hear me clicking away on my mouse. They have Visa as toward the bottom end of the valuation, and it has been for some time when you look back 5 years. But this is cool. It was in it all the way through the teens. Then COVID happened, and the shaded area dropped too. But yeah, it was way above it, and now we're below. So you have to think in the future we may be back up that. So we're probably going to go up from here, but who knows? Anyway, they give it a expected price of 270 to 330, and with it being at 275, it's toward the lower end of that range. So Visa, everybody, super awesome. Yeah, let me see. It's like dividend porn, right? Looking at Visa. Hopefully they keep it up and keep it going. Yeah, return on invested capital. It's just stupid. 34% free cash flow. Look how silly that is. 61%. Oh, it's last 12 months. 55% free cash flow margin. 55 cents out of every dollar that comes in sales is making its way to free cash flow. That is super duper. Putting on the Ritz. He died. I miss him. That was Young Frankenstein, right? I miss Gene Wilder. Cheers to Gene Wilder. What an actor. What an actor. Okay, so we talked about Visa with Shannon. Yeah, stupid humor. I don't know. I just didn't get that one. I didn't get it. You'll become 6. Oh, yeah, that's right. 6 of SCHD. Yeah, good guy. I second you, fan of dividendologies. Dividend, when are you gonna do a live stream? You gotta do one once, right? But I don't know. Maybe it's hard being faceless and doing this, but dude, you have conquered our niche and you're gonna, I don't know. You ever think about changing it up? Because it seems like, right? Like the big finance, like an Andre Jick or a Graham Stephan, those types. Um, they're not niched like you're in our dividend niche. But do you ever think about I don't know, what is this like turning into an interview all of a sudden? Yeah, Sherwin-Williams, they are on my watch list. I'd love them to come down. Costco, thank God, is fine. Oh, watch this. You'll get a kick out of this one, guy. Their valuation, I was looking at them, and do 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 do. Overvalued anybody? They show on Simply Safe. It's just egregiously overvalued based on their 5-year average PE. And I remember people asked me, and I said I would feel comfortable buying them somewhere around 650. Like that was kind of my, 6 to 650. So they give an expected range of 580 to 709. And hey, looking back, and this is why I think it's just going to be a matter of patience, but Visa has never been this high above that shaded area looking back 20 years. So we'll see. And then even based on the dividend yield, same thing, same story. They are just they're in the stratosphere right now. And I mean, look at the forward PE. Normally for the past 5 years, 36. They're at 50. And they've come down. They were almost at 60. So I'm gonna hold off. Love Costco, but I can't do it. I can't bring myself to pay that much for them right now. And it could be a mistake. I remember feeling like they were overvalued around 500 and I was going to wait. So, hey, JJ, what's going on, JJ? We're doing good. Welcome to the Dividend Dive. 2008 Toyota Prius. Yeah, as we've been looking into cars, shout out Toyota. They're one of the more dependable ones. Just don't buy we've had so many problems with the GMC Acadia it's a 2011. Of course, we just were researching a couple years ago and it was like, yeah, 2009 to 2012 Acadias avoid at all costs. And we're like, sweet. We bought one of those money pits and we agree fully and wholeheartedly. So maybe we should like investing, right? We made an investment and we didn't do our proper due diligence. We liked how it looked. It fit everything. It had the third row, which we wanted for the kids, and it's been a money pit. The thing is crazy. If you want to change the light bulb, like what the headlight I'm watching on YouTube, and they're like, okay, And now wheel out the engine crane because we have to pull the engine, drop the transmission. Like, what? It's a weird, wacky car. I don't know if they were, if GMC they were sniffing glue or something, or is a joke when they designed that car. You bought Aflac maybe a year. Yeah, it's good companies, and they say if you buy if you buy companies at a 52-week high and they've been there for a while, there's a pretty good reason probably that they're at a 52-week high. Good company, right? We want to buy good companies. So, huge opportunity. Industries or companies that people or politicians currently hate. What would that be? Like PepsiCo? Like the snack foods, maybe? What about 3M now? Share price rising up Phoenix. Yeah, I still don't trust it because their CEO on the last earnings call said it's going to take a few years. I think he said most of their products were like stale, and they're going to have to spend more uh, on R&D. John would love to, but we're getting close to the end. And honestly, just both they're both so strong. Maybe MasterCard gets a little leg up now because they don't have a DOJ lawsuit facing them, but I wouldn't. Either one is fine. Walmart trying to get into Visa's world. I think so. And we're gonna see what happens, and that's why the stock price was beaten down. Then it got snapped right back up. We got Kojak. What's going on? Kojak, wasn't that Telly Savalas? I remember that when I was a little tiny itty bitty baby cheerins. Yeah, Visa does have a big moat, but hey, like Warren said, when you're the king and you have a big moat, you're always going to have attacks, and I wish, man, I hope so. That if we were to have a big market pullback, crash, correction, whatever you want to call it, I know I got a lot of stuff on the watch list, but that is at the tippy top is Costco. I would not hesitate to buy a lot of Costco as much as I could afford. You sold at 550 and whatever. If you didn't lose money, just forget about it. You can't go back. Like me with Prudential, sold them at $121.10. I had wanted to sell them at 120, right? And this is where greed comes in. They dropped down to like 112 or so, and then the market started ripping back up. So I was like, oh, I should wait for 130. Like, no, you know what? I'm just gonna, because if it drops again, I know I'm not gonna be happy with myself. Guy, you think MasterCard might have more growth than Visa? But yeah, that's what most of the prevailing thought is. You're not going to go wrong with either one. 2008 Chrysler 300C. Chrysler. It's not a GM car, is it? Maybe. When Apple dropped to 150, hey, it may. You never know. Nobody knows what's going to happen. That's what makes life investing and fantasy football so fun, right? Who knew that Brees Hall on the Jets was going to get less than 5 points today? Ah, Taco. Michael, you're from the 80s too, or probably earlier, but yeah, I do remember Taco. That was the song I remember hearing on the radio when, it would be sandwiched in between like Burning Heart by Survivor and then Eternal Flame by the Bangles. You'd hear it in like that, you'd hear it in that rock block. Not even a rock block. That was pop music. Shout out if you remember the Bangles. I sure do. More money for dividends. Yeah. Okay, you guys, we're talking. FU money is much more important than driving a new car. Yeah. So our thing right now is our kids are a little bit older, but we at least think we want something with a third row. So it's a little more expensive, right? Those SUVs. But yeah, and honestly, we're looking at 2018s, 2019s, something a little more dependable. Yeah, this is great. This is a recurring theme in people that are seeking financial independence. It's very rare that I come across somebody that has a new car, and it's almost like a badge of honor for us, right? I love it. I've been seeing 2012s, 2008s, cars 15 years old. I was gonna say 20, and I was like, "Wait, nobody said 20 years old yet. You can't say it. You're wrong." With the Prius use I love it. Oh, look at this. Yeah, oh, Mike, you were the one from, we talked about doing a meetup or something, right? You were supposed to email me, Russ at dapperdividends.com, or follow me on Blossom. Hey, you guys want to see my trades in live time? I think I have a link below, maybe. I know I shared it in the today's video. Irving Berlin, nice, from 1927. And here's me. I know it from Young Frankenstein, and then from tacos, putting on the Ritz. And Shannon, it's nutty, but Toyota Highlanders, we've seen some that were maybe like a 2018, 100,000 miles on it, and they want $35,000. That's nuts. That's nuts. And my friend, uh, what did you guys first learn to drive in? That I first learned to drive in a, I think it was a 1988 or 89 Ford station wagon. It had the same thing. It was wood side paneling. It had the row in the back so you could sit and look straight out the back. So if you get rear-ended by a truck, those kids would just be crushed immediately. Yeah, and that's what we're running into. So when we find something we want, we're just like, "Oh my god, we can't pay that." I was thinking we'd be paying, maybe like 17, 18K for a used car, and as my wife has been showing me, not the case. She'll find some that are like 29,000 and it'll say really good deal, and 2 days later it's gone. She's like, "See, I told you." I'm like what? Like I'm like 30,000. That's a brand new car. And she's like, "No, you're living in the past." That's so this is what you do in life. You find out what something costs, whether it's a stock or a car or a house. What is the cost? And then you either pay it or you don't. And if you want it, you should be asking the question, how can I afford this? What can you do? Because then your brain, you get that subconscious working and thinking what you can do. The family trucks there. Yeah, Michael, you walk like an Egyptian. I didn't like walk like an Egyptian. It was too overplayed. It was too overplayed. But and then here's me. I guess I only remember that and Eternal Flame. Didn't know they also did the Simon and Garfunkel cover, right? Um, I can't think of the name of it. Oh my god, I can hear it. I remember being in my room as a kid, looking at the radio and thinking like, "I know them." Yeah. Look at you guys. Oh, these are classic, but these aren't, you're not driving that '78 Camaro every day though, right? That's just something you have for the weekends? 2003 Honda Civic too. There you go. Now you got a 20-year-old car. I love that. Manual. I drove a manual in Ireland. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was white knuckling. That was white knuckling when we pulled out of the dealership, and I remember thinking, "Crazy, I just have my driver's license from Illinois," and they're like, "Here you go. You're on the wrong side of the car, driving a stick shift." I'd never shifted with the left hand before. Uh, on the wrong side of the road, there's roundabouts. I mean, there's people honking. We don't know where we're going. It was just, we hit a point where we turned down because I'm like, "All right, we gotta just park and figure this out." Like, so there was a dead end we pulled down to, and it was funny. There was like people on their lunch break, and I was gonna reverse it, and I got kind of close to the end of the dead end. And it was like, I couldn't figure out how to get it in reverse. So we ended up having to Google it, but I'm like, it won't go in reverse. And I'm like creeping forward and forward. I'm like, what are we gonna do? I'm running out of room. So anyway, thank God Google worked, but we Googled it was a Dacia Duster. So we had to Google how to put it in reverse. Fun times, hijinks, and shenanigans with our family. And then, It's funny. I remember there's people like taking lunch and I'm yelling. I'm like, I don't know how to get it in reverse. Like, what are they on drugs? All right. Thank you. Shades of winter. Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter, not shades of winter. See, if I start singing it, it's we have fun here. I love it. One more sip of the Waterloo, and it's another week. We didn't do the week ahead. I just realized I forgot, but too late for that now. And Frank, I'm going to end with that, man. The memories that prevail. We just booked a trip. I'm going to tell you guys, we booked a trip to shout out if you've been there, Frankenmuth, Michigan. It's like a little Bavarian village it's set up as, but 2 nights, I ended up saying, you know what? Right in the middle of town is the Bavarian Inn, and it's just like the centerpiece. And yeah, uh, it's going to cost us almost $500 for 2 nights to stay. And initially, I was like, I don't know. And I said, you know what? This is money we can do. We have it's let's make some memories, because, like you said, Frank, the memories are going to be what prevails at the end of our lives when we should look back and think. Put it this way. This is the last thing I want to tell you. It's called future casting at the end. And I think about this. So, and I had to do it before I told my wife to book the hotel because it was non-refundable too. But we're going for 2 nights. Kids have a long weekend. And I thought it may be a little expensive, right? But I tried to imagine myself at 89 years old in a bed somewhere or in a chair, like, you know, if I if I walked around the block, that would be enough exercise and an activity for 2 days, whatever. So I look back and I think, would I have liked to have taken a trip to Frankenmuth with when I was in my late 40s, my kids were teenagers still living with us? What would at that point, and say I invested the money, it compounded, what the hell's the money going to do you then? Look at Charlie Munger look at Warren Buffett, he's a billionaire. What the hell is he going to do? Is he going to go, frolic in in the ocean? Is he going to walk the Appalachian Trail? No, he's not. Even though he could buy the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Ocean, he's not going to. So anyway, long way of me saying, I looked back and said, I would probably at 90 years old, 89, I would probably pay $10,000 to be to have two more days in my late 40s with my teenage daughters that were still living with us. So that's why I did. I said, you know what, to book it. Money flows to me easily and freely. Money is the most renewable resource on the planet. You can always make more money, but we don't know how much time we have, and we can't make more time. But what we can make is the end of this show. We can run this out of time. So I don't know. That was a little bit of a ramble. I hope you appreciate that. I like it. I don't know. Have fun with you guys. You get me going. You get me talking. I look forward to seeing each of you every week. And thank you so very much once again for swinging on by the Dividend Dive, the weekend Dividend Dive. We'll do it again next week. And I'll see you all. Say thank you so very much for stopping by. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.